Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. So I originally had like another video filmed for today, but then something happened this Saturday and I decided I need to make a story time about it. So let's start it all off. So the day was, I don't want to mention the day because so it was Saturday morning and I had work in the morning, but I got off at like 1, whatever. So then I told my friends like, hey, hey, come over, let's pregame, because we originally had like another party to go to later at the night. So he was like, yeah, sure, I'm down, whatever. So he comes over and like we start like kikiing, and like he brought us like beer, and like I'm not a big fan of beer. So we went to the liquor store and got like absinthe and wine. And that was my first time trying absinthe. That shit tastes like black licorice. And it was the US version, so I didn't even hallucinate. So I don't know what the point of it was. But if I ever go out of the country, I will be getting absinthe. So then the night went on, and he got like really drunk. And he normally used to not get drunk, but this time he was like being extra and shit. And like time went on, and like we didn't know what to do because the girl who like we were going to have the party with, like she was just being unresponsive and being difficult. So we were like we were trying to make other plans. And I had like 4 or 5 parties offered to me. But then my friend's ex FaceTimed me and he was like, oh, wanna go to this party? And it just triggered my friend, and he was being a bitch after that. But then my friend's ex, like, he was being difficult too. Like, he wouldn't tell me the details about this party, and he would like respond like once every hour. So I'm like, fuck this. So then, like, one of the possible party plans for the night was going to the club, the gay club. And, like, I was kind of, like, iffy about it because I did want to go to that party. But then my friend called an Uber, and, like, I wasn't even ready. So, like, I got my shit together real fast. I cleaned up. And then we went in an Uber. And this was, like, I don't know how fucking long this Uber was. But I was not nearly drunk enough for it. And I wasn't ready for it. And it was long as shit. But the whole time in the Uber, like, me and my friend, like, didn't talk. Because we were, like, I don't want to say on bad terms, but it was definitely, like, bitchy. He was still mad about the whole fucking X thing. So there was that, and like I'm like, you know what? I just can't wait to be like there or whatever. I hope we can get in. So then the Uber finally drops us off in the fucking gay city, and we go to the club and we try opening the door and it's fucking locked. So I'm like, are they even open? And my friend checks the time and like it was like 9:40. And the club opens at 10 o'clock. And we're like, oh, what the fuck? So then it's like some like guy, some worker comes up the door. And he's like, yeah, we open in like 20 minutes. But he's like, but if you guys wanna like sit in here, that's fine. So we're like, okay, yeah, sure. I don't know if I can say this, but like thankfully for that, like they didn't like check our IDs or anything. And I was just planning to like pay my way to get into the club. So we got in for free pretty much. And then me and my friend we were just sitting there. I'm trying to make conversation because like it's like awkward as shit. And then he like starts attacking me because like he's like and he used this super condescending tone. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, Lucas." I'm not like that. But then like I was like in the car ride to the fucking club, right? I was texting his ex like leave him alone, like you're ruining the night, whatever. And then like apparently the fucking ex idiot told my fucking friend, and then like my friend like he took his ex's side. What the fuck? Like I didn't even do anything wrong. He was just attacking me. And he's like, yeah, I got you in this club for free. First of all, you didn't do shit. Second of all, like, what? Like, I was planning to pay you, so you weren't gonna do anything. And he was being super condescending. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. And then, like, he would not let it go. And every time he said he would let it go, he just kept on bringing it up. And at this point, I was over it. Like, I did, like, nothing wrong, and I didn't really give a shit either. I was just there for a good time. So then I asked some lady in the club, I'm like, can I buy a drink? Like, when does this shit start? She's like, yeah, the bartenders actually aren't here yet. So I'm just like, great. So I'm just sitting there for a little bit. And then finally, some other group of people come, like 30 fucking minutes later. And finally, the bartender fucking comes. And so I go up there, and I was like, and then I asked for a drink, and first of all, one of the drinks I ordered, she didn't even know what it was. Like, girl, what the fuck? How you gonna be a bartender? And that was like a simple fucking drink. So I said, whatever, just give me 2 fucking vodka cranberries. I was over this shit. So I had that, and like, first of all, let me tell you one thing before we get into this. 1, club drinks are way too expensive. 2, that bitch put way too much ice. Like, is there any booze in there, or is it just water from the fucking ice? So I'm sipping my shit and like, cause I need to get drunk to deal with everything that's happening right now. And then like I've decided like I need to get drunk faster. So I had a flask in my pocket at the time. And did I say it was absinthe? I had absinthe in there, so I'm like, fuck this shit. So I go to the bathroom, pour all the absinthe in one of the cups, which is really strong. It was really gross, actually. So I chugged both my drinks. So then, like, more people, like, maybe, like, more people came, like, maybe, like, another group. I think it was just another group. And I'm like, you know what, I'm still not that drunk. So I'm pretty sure my friend ordered me a drink, because now we were loosening up. We were having, like, a better time. And he bought me a drink. I don't remember what it was, but it was pretty good. At this point, got even tipsier. Me and my friend were, like, dancing in the middle of the club. Pretty much just us still. And then I think I started to get a little tipsy. Because now, like the turning point of the situation was, like, when I was in the middle of the floor dancing. And then I'm pretty sure my friend bought me one more drink. And that's when the shit, like, started to, like, you know, kick up. Like, more people started coming in, like, in the shit. And before we get into anything, first of all, this was a gay club, right? I didn't hear any gay music. This bitch played Spanish music the entire time. And I love Spanish music, trust me. But I don't come to a gay club to listen to the Spanish music, for fuck's sake. Like, I didn't hear one Lady Gaga song. I think the closest I got was Como La Flor by fucking Selena. Which I love Selena, but again, hearing Spanish song after Spanish song after Spanish song, I love it, but, like, change it up. And I even made, like, even me and my friend both made requests to the fucking DJ, and, like, he didn't listen to me for shit. So, fuck you. So, now we're in the club, there's people, like, actually coming in, and we're, like, dancing for shit, and I'm probably, like, a little bit drunk. And, like, some big, like, black man, like, started, like, trying to dance with me, and I'm like, fuck it. So, I started dancing with him. And then I'm pretty sure me and my friend, like, started to split off. And, like, he started talking to, this other guy. Like, they were at the bar talking, and I'm like, whatever. But then I had to go up to him and be like, friend, like, buy me another drink. Like, please. Because I asked the bartender, I'm like, okay, what's the cheapest drink I can get for... I only have $6 left. And she's like, you can get a beer. I go, one, I'm not drinking beer. So I'm like, my friend, like, please give me $1. Just come on. So he finally gives me $1, and I buy my last drink, because that's all the money I had. I spent all my money on drinks. And then I'm pretty sure, like, I just kept on, like, dancing, because I was, like, alone. Like, he kind of, like, left me for that. And so I was just kind of dancing in this room alone, and I was getting, like, kind of bored. Like, they were, like, all ugly, they were all lame and all this shit. And then I don't know how I figured it out, but there was another club in the club, like, on the other side. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure I asked, like, the bouncer, I'm like, yo, what's there? It's like, they're like, oh yeah, it's another club. Like, you paid for this when you got in. I'm like, nobody told me about this. So then I don't know if my friend came with me. I don't honestly, like, this part was a blur. But then I walk up in there onto the new club, and bitch, this was so much more of a better time. Still Spanish music, but still, like, more dancing, like, fog and all this shit. So I go in there, and I'm dancing my ass off, all this shit. And, like, I was kind of, like, I was trying to get everybody to dance with me. Because, like, some people, like, anyone that would be, like, standing on, like, the sides, I'd be like, oh, come, like, dance with me, and I'd bring them all in, like, we'd have our fun, then I would leave for the next person. Like, I was just getting everybody to have a good time. And, like, I was in the middle, I would dance with everybody. Like, they honestly, like, not to, like, toot my own horn, but, like, toot, motherfucker, I was a good time. But then, like, you know, I just kept on dancing and all this shit. Like, I was just having a good time. And then I'm pretty sure my friend, like, stole the guy I was dancing with, so I was just, like, not having it, which is kind of dramatic on my part, I'll admit that. And then I found, like, a janitorial closet, and I was just in there. Like, not for a long time or anything. I was just, like, I don't know how... One, I don't know how I got in there. Two, I don't know why I was in there. But I was in there for, like, a minute or two to explore the fucking club. So I came out, and, like, there was people, like, standing at the side of the door. I'm like, oh, hey. And I was just talking to them. They loved me. And I'm like, oh, gotta go. The music's speeding up. Like, time to party. At this point, like, I had no clue where my friend was. I was so over it. Like, I was, like, kind of just doing my own thing. And I met so many people, right? And then this group that I previously talked to, they're like, oh, like, come with us, like, stick with us, like, don't leave us. So I'm like, okay, like, why not? Like, I had nobody, like, I was left alone. So I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna come with you guys. So then this group, like, I followed them and everything. I'm pretty sure, like, they had kids. Like, not with them, of course, but, like, they had kids. And so I'm like, oh, like, why not? What am I gonna do? So I'm pretty sure they brought me back to the other side of the club, which, like, now I'm like, what the fuck, why? That was the boring side. And at this point, like, I didn't have any more booze. So I was kind of like doing my own thing. And like, we were kind of like in the corner, not the corner, but like we were at like a table on this side of the club. And I guess I was bored. And for some reason, I don't know the calling, but I swear to God, on the bar on this side of the club, I don't want to say she was a drag queen, because I honestly don't even know if it was a guy or a girl, but I swear it was an alien. This bitch was dressed up like an alien. She was dancing on the bar. She might have worked there. She probably did. And I swear to God, she calls me up there. So I said, so I see a dancing alien on the bar. My ass goes up to the bar, and I climb up onto the bar, and I just start dancing. And at this point, like, my pants, I was wearing jeans, and my pants button, like, they broke. I don't know how. So, like, the flaps were kind of just open. You could just kind of see my underwear. Like, it wasn't me being a hoe or anything. And keep in mind, I forgot to mention this. I was wearing a mesh shirt. Like, kind of like, there was, like, this whole bunch of holes in the shirt. And keep in mind, it was, like, a winter day. Important for later in the story. So I start dancing on the bar, and all of a sudden, like, all the people, like, all the guys below me, they're taking my pants off because they're already open, and they probably thought, like, I did that on purpose, but, like, the button was broken. So they start taking my pants off, and I'm like, okay, well, now I become a stripper. So I'm in my underwear, dancing, and the alien bitch, she pulls my underwear from behind me up my ass crack, so, like, my cheeks are out. And so I'm assuming that's, like, a go-kart, like, do it. So I'm still dancing. At this point, bitches are putting dollar bills in my underwear. I even got a 5. I'm like, what the fuck? My cash is sitting on my floor over there. They're all still crumpled up from my fucking underwear. And then before I know it, like, I'm just dancing my shit, like, stroking my fucking shit, getting paid for my shit. And all of a sudden, like, I'm pretty sure someone brings me down from the bar. And I was so confused. But then, yeah, it turns out it was, like, security or the bodyguard or the bouncer or whatever. And, like, he carried me out of the club in my underwear. And, like, he, like, gave me my pants. He throws me out of the club. And I'm in my underwear. So then I'm just, like, people are in line to get in this club outside, right? And I'm just there in my underwear trying to put my pants on. But before I put my pants on, of course I had to take, like, my dollar bills out of my underwear. Because, bitch, that's free money. Like, I worked for that. So I got kicked out of the club, and I put my pants back on, and then I, like, start calling my friends, because, like, 1, I haven't seen him in a while. 2, like, I guess I needed, like, to go, because he was, like, my ride and everything. He didn't pick up, nothing, I heard no response from him. I kept on doing my shit, like, not one response from him, whatever. So what other choice did I have? At this point, I was walking, like, up and down the streets in the fucking city in my fucking ripped pants open and a fucking mesh shirt with holes in it, freezing my shit off. And, like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I had no plan. Like, I had nobody. I didn't know what to do. So I just kept on walking. The amount of times, like, people asked me if I was a hooker was insane. Like, people thought I was dead as a hooker. That's how, like, trashy I looked at the time. At one point, I was just, like, playing, like, Lady Gaga, just walking up and down the streets, striding my shit. Because I didn't know what to do. It's probably, like, 3 a.m. at this point. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how they met me, but this couple, they come up to me, and I don't remember what they said. But, like, long story short, first of all, the guy was, like, really homophobic and racist. But not, like, terribly homophobic and racist, like, if that makes sense. Like, he was still, like, nice to me and shit, like, but, like, he was just, like, making, like, jokes and all this shit, which is, like, fine, like, I didn't care. And the girl was like, are you okay? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is happening? Where's your friends and all this shit? And keep in mind, they were drunk, too, of course. Like, it's, like, a Saturday night. And the guy was like, yeah, like, I've seen you walk down these streets, like, 3 times. Like, what are you on? Like, are you looking for drugs? Are you looking for sex? Like, what are you, like, doing? Are you a hooker? And I'm like, no, I'm not a hooker! So then I told them, I'm like, yeah, like, my friend, like, left me. I don't have a ride back. I got kicked out of the club. Like, I just didn't know what to do. And they were like, aw. Like, not like, aw, but they were like, oh my, like, they felt bad for me. And, like, I felt bad, too, for them because, like, I didn't want to be nobody's liability. Like, I'm not trying to be this shit. I hate liabilities. And so she's like, just stick with us. Like, come walk with us and all this shit. So I'm like, what better thing do I have to do? So then I'm walking with them, and they were kind of like looking for some place to like eat and drink kind of at the same time. So like the guy starts like asking like, around. He's like, he's like, hey bros, do you know any place to eat and drink? Keep in mind, these people were straight too. I don't know why they were in the gay part. And he's like, do you know any place to eat and drink? And the guys were like, not at the same time. Like, it's like 3 a.m. You can choose one or the other. So I'm like, oh, great. So then eventually, like, they find, like, this, like, bar, like, open. And, like, I go in with them. So we walk in, and I, like, didn't have, like, an ID. And I'm just like, can you please just let me, like, sit in here? Like, they want to get drinks. I don't really care. Like, just let me sit in here. You're going to watch me this whole time. I'm just freezing my tits off. And he, like, would not let me. So I was, like, yelling at him. I'm like, bro, have some humanity in you, you piece of shit. And, like, he, like, wouldn't budge. I'm like, you know what? I hope I freeze my tits off on this street. Like, go fuck yourself. But, like, they wanted to obviously eat and drink. And I didn't want to, like, bring them down. Like, I want them to have a fun Saturday night. So I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'll go out there. And then she's like, okay, like, we're not going to be that long. Like, just wait for us. So she gave me her number and her, like, shit. So, and she made sure she texted it, too. So, like, I had it and shit. Like, she was, like, she protected me. Like, I really appreciate that a lot. So then, like, I still didn't know where to go. So I go to this fucking Shell gas station, trying to warm up because I'm freezing. And when I left, like, the new bar or whatever, I was planning to take an Uber home. Because, like, I'm not gonna make these people, like, I'm not gonna, like, drag them down all night. Like, I don't wanna, like, fuck them over. Like, I felt terrible. So my plan was to, like, get an Uber and just go home. So then I go to the Shell to warm up, and I tried calling an Uber, and that shit was over $100. And, like, I don't have that money. So, you know what? I'm like, I'm screwed. And at the beginning of the night, there was another guy that lived, like, right by the club I was at. And he's like, if you need a place to stay, just let me know. So I'm texting him. He was asleep or some shit, so I couldn't use him. Nobody was up. The only person that texted me was my friend in California, and he can't do shit. He's like, yeah, I'm here for support. I'm like, bitch, like, I need to get home. So I put on my story, on my Snapchat story, and I'm like, can somebody please drive me home? Nobody fucking responded. Everybody's fake as shit. And then the Shell guy was like, are you buying something? And I was trying to be, like, funny. I'm like, no. And then he's like, well, then you gotta get out. And I'm like, haha, you're funny. So I just stood there, and he, like, keeps on, like, stacking his shit. And he looks up to me, he's like, you know what? He's like, no, like, for real, you gotta get out if you're not buying anything. So I'm pissed, and I'm like, you know what? I hope you find me dead on the streets, and I hope my name's in the paper, and you see me murdered, and it's all your fault, you piece of shit. Because he kicked me out. So I made him feel bad, whatever. And so I'm back on the streets walking, just keep on walking in the cold, didn't know what to do, I didn't know where I was. And all I could do, like, was wait for that fucking couple, because, like, maybe they did abandon me, maybe, like, they were just fucking with me or whatever, but, like, eventually, like, I kept on walking, and she hit me up, she's like, where are you? And I'm like, oh, I just left Shell, like, I got kicked out, and she's like, okay, we're almost done, whatever. So then I start walking, and she calls me, and she's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm walking, and she's like, where? And then basically I see them, like, right in front of me walking, so I go to them. So then I go up to them, I'm like, can I ask you a really big favor? And I was like, can you guys please drive me home back in my city, which is, like, an hour or so away? And they were like, of course, like, that was the plan. So now at this point, we're trying to find their parked car, which they had no clue where it was. We must have walked up and down the streets for so many fucking times. And then, like, we were at the street at this point, some, like, gay kid came up to us, and I don't know what happened, but my straight guy, the friend from the couple, he, like, claimed later that, but he said later that, like, this guy, like, kind of, like, talked about his girl's ass or whatever. So basically, the guy punched the shit out of this gay kid, and, like, in the fucking street, and I'm like, shit. And then a bunch of his friends, like, the gay kid's friends, start coming running up, trying to attack him, and this straight guy single-handedly took all of them. And, like, and then the girl was about to start fighting, too. She was a bad bitch, too. And she was just mad that her boyfriend wouldn't let her fight. She's like, let me fight my own shit. But I'm just like, so eventually that broke off. So now we're back on the street, like, looking for, like, how to get to their car. And then we passed the club that they kicked me out. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is the club that kicked me out. So I think we tried to get back in. But right at the door was the fucking bouncer that brought me out, like, with his fucking hands. So, like, oh, yeah, we're not getting back in. That's, like, the guy. And he's like, mm-hmm. And then I told him the same shit, like, that I told the Shell guy. I'm like, you know what? I hope I get murdered, and I hope my name's in the paper, and it's all your fault. Like, that was my excuse to everybody that was just being a fucking cunt. And then, like, this, like, secret agent bouncer was in front of the door, and my friend, the girl, right, the couple, she had a beer. And then the secret bouncer guy, he tried taking the beer out of her hand, and he's like, hey, you can't have this here. And she's like, excuse me? Because, like, they thought, like, that was the beer from the club, and, like, she brought it outside. And she's like, no, this is my own fucking beer. Like, I didn't get this from your fucking club. And he, like, touched her and shit. So that was bogus as shit. And then, like, then he, like, made up excuses because, like, obviously he was wrong. And then he was like, you know what, like, you just get off, like, the premises or whatever. So then we all start arguing with the fucking people. And then I think the owner eventually comes out. And he's like, yeah, like, I don't want you guys to get on this thing. And then the fucking secret bouncer guy's like, security, security. Like, he, like, face called security to, like, scare us. Like, we weren't scared for shit. So then my fucking girl, she, like, throws the bottle at their feet, breaks it, and then we leave. And I'm like... I was impressed. I was really impressed. Like, probably one of the top 10 moments of my life. It was pretty badass. So now at this point, like, we left. Like, we weren't even in a hurry. We just kept on walking, trying to find the car. So we were walking one way from the club. And then we realized, so, like, this is the club. We were walking this way. And then we realized the car was all over here. So we would have to pass the club again. So we were like, shit. Because at this point, we've walked up and down these streets, like, 8 times. So we passed the club, and, like, we looked at the club again, and there was actually, like, security out there this time. So we're like, shit, like, let's go. Then we keep on walking, and we finally find the fucking parking garage. Oh my god damn, it was a long time. So then I get in the car, like, I probably, like, to be honest, I shouldn't have, because these are complete strangers that I met at 3 a.m. drunken on the streets. And I'm like, you know what, like, I'm probably gonna die, but I'm gonna die on this fucking cold streets anyways. So I'm like, okay, let's fuck it. So then, like, she types in my address, and, like, we were gonna go there. And then he was like, oh, no, like, wait, like, first, like, I want to go home to get, like, more booze. But, like, the girl was like, no, like, we gotta drive him home. And then, like, his excuse was to, like, check on his brother. So, like, we do that anyways. And I'm like, oh, my God, they're gonna murder me. Like, actually, I didn't think that. But, like, it was just telling myself, like, I should think that, but I didn't. And so then, like, we go to his house, which is, like, still, like, 10 minutes away from, not even 10 minutes, maybe like 7 minutes away from the city that I was in. So we go to his thing, he gets more booze to drink. And so at this point, like, now we're ready to, like, go to my fucking house. And we, like, finally get on the expressway, and I keep on checking, like, the time to my house, and, like, it was not changing. Like, it was said 40 minutes for, like, 20 minutes. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't know where they're taking me. I don't really care. And then they offer, like, to, like, smoke weed. They offer me to smoke weed with them. And I'm like, no. Like, I gave it up for Lent. Which I, like, wanted to. But I'm like, you guys got coke? And they're like, haha, we wish. Then, we were just driving. And I fell asleep in their car. Which is, like, really bad. But, like, when I woke up, I was closer to my house. Because they were like, I don't think they knew I was asleep, because when they woke me up, they're like, oh, buddy, are you up? And, like, that woke me up, and I'm like, oh, yeah. But that, so, like, I don't know how long I was out for, but then we finally got to, like, the place I recognized. And so then, like, we finally get to my house. The light's on in my house, because it's 6 a.m. I'm like, you know what? Damn, like, my fucking mom's up. Like, she's up. I'm like, how am I gonna sneak in? So then I told my little guardian angels, my couple, I'm like, thank you guys so much. Like, honestly, like, I don't know what would happen the fact that you guys didn't find me. Like, I really don't know. And they're like, oh, no problem. Like, hit us up. Let's all hang sometime. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Because, like, these people, like, protected me. So, I love them. Keep in mind, they were, like, in their 30s. Like, so then I say my goodbyes, and I go to my house, and I go inside. And, like, surprisingly, there was no one, like, I don't think there was anybody up. I think they just left. I think my mom left that light on for when I got home. So I just turned the light off, and I went to bed. And at this time, it was, like, 6:30 in the fucking morning, and I had work at 12. So I'm like, I need to go to sleep. And, like, if the sun was rising, though, I can't fucking sleep with the fucking sun up. So I tape a blanket to my window, and then I go the fuck to sleep. And then, like, I wake up at, like, 11:40, and I had to hurry up and get my shit together, and I went to work. So, yeah, that's my story. So, let's recap. I went to my first club ever. I stripped, made a dream come true, and then I got kicked out of the club, and I was abandoned. And, like, the next day, my different friend, like, just some random person, she was like, yeah, like, if that couple didn't find you, like, how would you have gotten home? And, like, to be honest, I wouldn't have. I had no options. I even put in my Grindr bio, like, will somebody please drive me home? And, like, still nobody, like, did it. So, yeah, basically, I swear to God, these people are my guardian angels. My fucking alcoholic guardian angels. The gods sent from the drugs and alcohol above. They came to protect me. And I couldn't thank them more. Like, I could not be, like, more appreciative. Like, honestly, I feel blessed. And I'm not religious, but I feel blessed that these people picked me up. So, yeah, then my friend, like, tried hitting me up the next day. And I'm like, I swear to God! Because I was still pissed she fucking left me! In the fucking city! Whatever. I'm just happy that I got home. I don't know how I made it alive. Like, to be quite honest with you. But I did. I'm here telling my story. But, yeah. Shit was a night. So I hope you guys liked my story time. Give me a thumbs up because this was fucking insane. Can't believe I became a stripper. Like, that is by far, like, my top dream of all time. I want to be a go-go boy so bad. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I will be telling a bunch more crazy shit stories because my life is fucking insane. And yeah, I hope you guys liked today's video and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, guys.